A man catches his wife sneaking out to a big mansion every night, but when he finds out why, he makes her realize that there is nothing they can't survive as long as they love one another. Before we start, can we get this video to 1,000 likes? Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Lily and John Harris only took one look at each other before they decided they were made for one another. They met at a fundraiser thrown by mutual friends of theirs, and as soon as their eyes clashed, their worlds aligned, and they wanted the same thing: a big family to love and to raise. They spoke all through the event, and when it was time to part ways, they promised to stay in contact. A day later, John called her and scheduled a dinner date with her. The date had gone extremely well, and with time, they just kept gravitating towards each other. The courtship went on for a whole year. Then the two tied the knot and moved into a small house they rented annually. As newlyweds, they were inseparable, and this was because they had a lot in common. 5 months later, she started making some shady moves. Tight as they were, it didn't take John long to realize that she wasn't the same. She spoke less to him, and they began to drift apart. "Hey baby, want to go catch a movie this weekend? I hear there are good ones airing." He had asked one Friday evening when she returned from work, but she said, "I can't this time, darling. I have some things to attend to with work and all that. You know, audit periods always come with a lot of paperwork, and I've been missing out on them these days." The next day, John, who usually turned into bed very early so he could wake up to beat traffic, woke in the middle of the night and found the space where Lily should have been empty. Perplexed, he took a quick tour of the house, and sure enough, his wife was nowhere to be found. Her car was no longer in the driveway, which meant she went out. That day, John felt more worried than suspicious. But that was not enough to stop him from drifting off on the waves of sleep. Eventually, he decided to return to bed and confront her the following day. As early as 6 in the morning he was up, but rather than prepare for work, he tapped Lily, who had been lightly snoring beside him. Whoa, wait," she had asked sleepily. "Where have you been sneaking off to, Lily?" he asked her. That cleared all traces of sleep from her eyes, and she immediately sat up in bed, visibly shaken. "Did you think I would not know?" he asked. "Who is he?" "John," she gasped. "There's nothing like that. I can explain." "Of course you can. Let's hear it then. Why have you been sneaking off to a mansion in the dead of the night?" "I'm sorry, John. It's true I've been sneaking out, but it's not to meet a man," she said. "I'll prove it to you. Get in the car," Lily said matter-of-factly. They drove to the house but were silent in the car as they both dealt with their thoughts. When they arrived at the house, Lily took him inside, and they went upstairs to a children's nursery. John was still trying to make sense of it all when Lily revealed the big news. "John, a few days ago, I got a diagnosis from Dr. Keller, and it revealed that I'm barren and can't have kids even through IVF," she said. She also added that the house was an inheritance from her late parents who passed away in a car crash. She had made secret renovations ever since their wedding, and among the things she added was the nursery. "I did all these only to find out that I can't even have babies, and I've been really sad about it," she said. "This should have been where we would raise our big family, John. We both wanted that, but because of who I am, we can't have that," she sobbed. It made her very sad, and she couldn't help but cry as she confessed everything to her husband, who stood stunned. He had been missing too much because he had been more focused on what he felt. He rushed to hold her, and he reassured her right then and there nothing could stop him from loving her. John told her that he loved her regardless of her barrenness and promised they could adopt a child. It took some time, but exactly 1 year after their wedding, the two successfully adopted twins, a boy and a girl. They named the first one Benny and the second one Bethel. They had initially planned to take in only one, but the pair decided not to separate them after learning they were twins. They raised their twins in their mansion for months, and they were happy. The two went through the learning curve of being parents like pros because it was something they had always wanted to do. Of course, they never stopped trying to conceive, and one day, a miracle happened. Lily was pregnant with their own child. Fortunately, nothing unusual happened during the pregnancy term, and Lily carried it safely till delivery, after which she welcomed a boy they named Samuel to emphasize God's benevolence. What did we gain from this story? Communicate first. Lally put herself through anxiety because she feared her husband would not look at her the same once he realized she was barren. However, it turned out it didn't bother him so much, and he was fine with adoption. It is always better to communicate with your partner first rather than jump to conclusions. If you never give up, a miracle might happen. Lily and her husband knew she would never carry the baby, but they had not let it get them down or even stop them from trying. They kept attempting it, and eventually, they were rewarded with a healthy child. Share this story with your friends. It might brighten their day and inspire them.